Hi again, folks. I'm going to do something different today. I've got an unboxing of a guitar, which is very unusual for me because I'm a keyboard man, definitely not a guitar man, but I decided to get a guitar just because I just want to have a bit of a play around, and I've played a little bit on the guitar, but I've never been much good at it, but I thought, well, I'll get back into it, and I thought the best way to do that obviously is to upgrade what I've got presently, which is I've just got a classical guitar, so I decided to get a steel string. So what I've got here today is a guitar made by the Ashton company, that's A-S-H-T-O-N, based over in Australia actually. So it's a real popular brand in this part of the world, sort of Australia and New Zealand, Ashton. And they make guitars, they make all sorts of music accessories. They're a very well established brand and also very price competitive. So I picked this up for what it ended up costing me about $430. That's 430 New Zealand dollars, which must be, I don't know, around about, what would they be, about 350 US dollars, I would guess, at the top of my head. So it's definitely a good price. I'm taking a bit of a risk here because I haven't had the chance to play it. I've ordered this online, so I have no idea what it's going to be like to play. So fingers crossed, and hopefully it's all sounds good. So it's the Ashton D26EQACA. That's the exact model number. I've got that on the front here of the invoice. So yes, Ashton D26EQACA. So it's an electric acoustic guitar, which I wanted because for two reasons. One of them, the most obvious reason, is so I can then plug it into an amp if I want to perform live, play it live in a live situation. And obviously it's much easier if you can plug straight into a guitar amp or something like that, rather than having to mic your guitar up. But also for recording. And from what I understand, though, with recording, it's better to actually mic a guitar up. I'm using one or two microphones rather than plugging directly into a mixing console. So I suppose I'll have a bit of a play around with that and see how I go. But those are pretty much the two reasons why I went with an electric acoustic one. So obviously that gives a lot more flexibility. So let's get into it. Let's unpack this thing and see how it looks, see how it sounds. I've also ordered this with a guitar strap, so it should have a guitar strap inside. Obviously it wouldn't normally come with that. I actually had to pay for that separately. As you can see, it's pretty well packed. Had to get it sent from another city in New Zealand. They didn't have any of these here in Auckland, so it actually came from another part of the country. And they just sent it to the local music store up here, and I just went and picked it up. So it was pretty fast, efficient service. I'm so used to unpacking heavy keyboards that this is actually a real luxury, having a nice light guitar. Okay, so there we go. Ashton Premium Acoustics. There we go. Acoustic guitars. I haven't actually got a case for this yet, so I'm just going to have to keep it in the box when I'm not using it, probably in the meantime. Or if I want to transport it, I'll probably just use this box, but I'll get a case eventually. Okay, so let's see what we've got. Yep, there it is. Yep, that's what I was expecting to see. That's the guitar there. So it's got that sort of real woody look to it, which I thought was quite cool. I mean, not everybody's taste, I suppose, but I just thought it was something different, so I went with that. I thought it had a bit of a mark in it. I saw this in the photo when I purchased it, and they actually said that it was just part of the actual woodwork there, and it doesn't look like it's scratched. I think that's just something that's there, but it's not actually a scratch on the guitar. So there we go. That's what it looks like. Now, obviously, on the top here we've got the three band EQ, bass, treble, bass, middle, treble, and of course we've got our tuner here, which is going to be really handy, and volume control. And yep, we've got our Allen key there. Alright, so that's comes with it, and there's the strap, which I ordered, just a cheap strap actually. It was only $10, but that's enough to get me started. Sounds pretty good. It's as I understand, it's got the standard 12 gauge strings already installed, which I think are just a medium gauge string. But just playing it there, they don't actually feel too hard on the fingers at all. Because that's what I was a bit worried about. I thought, oh, maybe I'm not going to be used to this, because I'm used to playing a classical guitar with nylon strings. But actually, this feels fine. It's actually that feels fine. Well, this shows how much I know about guitars, folks. I was just about to get this all set up, and then I found right on the bottom here, obviously, is where the battery goes. So pretty obvious, obviously, when you think about it, but I just didn't see that. So yeah, that just pops out. Looks like it already comes with a 9-volt battery, which is a real bonus. So that's one less thing to worry about. It's wrapped in plastic, so I'll just have to unpack that. But yeah, that just obviously slips in the bottom there. And there's our jack for our lead. And obviously there's the 2 screws for our strap, which I'll put on as well. Yeah, so it looks like that's going to be pretty straightforward to get set up, which is excellent news for someone like me. So that's that. One thing I actually might just bring over here. What I've done is I've made myself a bit of a guitar stand here. I haven't actually purchased one, so I just need something obviously to pop it on. And as you can see, it's actually, the paint's still drying. It's really sticky at the moment, so I can't touch it. But I just made this guitar stand out of wood, just some wood that I had lying around. I thought, well, rather than buying a guitar stand, I'll just make one myself, and sort of you get a bit of pleasure from doing that and save a bit of money in the process. So I've put this together. Just knocked it together with a few bits of old wood and screws I had lying around. And once that's dry, then hopefully I can just use that to store the guitar, just inside here when I'm not using it, rather than having to, just put it in the box all the time. I'd rather just pop it on the stand. So if I tilt that back, you can sort of see what I've done there. It's just that's just to hold so the guitar can rest against that. That part at the back. And it'll just sit obviously on there. That's the plan anyway. Hopefully it fits. I don't know yet, but I can't try it until it's dry. So yeah, I'll put that back to one side just to keep on drying. Okay, so I guess I'll get this set up, plug it in, that sort of thing, and we'll see how it all sounds and go from there. Okay, I'm all set up, all tuned up, and yeah, I reckon it's sounding pretty good. I don't know much about different guitars and how they're all designed, but looking at the strings on this, it doesn't look to me like it's got a particularly high action on it. What's there between the fret and the string? Must be about 1 millimeter or so. Look, someone else can make a judgment on that, but it looks like the action's pretty low, so it seems pretty easy to play the strings on this, and not really have to press down very hard, which is great for a novice like me. The tuner's cool. I managed to tune everything up and get everything sounding right. I've just had a bit of a play here with the EQ side of things as well, and I'll do a quick demo through the speaker just so you can have a listen to that. I don't know what people's preference are, but I have a feeling that sliders would probably be a bit easier than actually having knobs, because I find that with these knobs, your fingers can sort of almost get in the way. Whereas if they were sliders, I guess you could just slide up and down, and less likely to just knock the wrong control there. It's a bit like a mixing desk, I guess. A mixing desk is usually easier if you've got sliders to slide up and down rather than actually having to turn knobs, but maybe that's something that you get on more expensive guitars. I'm not quite sure, but that's just one little thing. But other than that, I reckon it's sounding good. I think we're all in tune. Yeah, it's got a nice rich sound to it, which is what I like because I'm so used to playing a classical guitar with the nylon strings and strumming one of those. It's just not the same sort of sound, obviously. I'll play a few chords. Okay, so there's just a few chords there. I think that's sounding pretty cool. I'm just going to turn the volume up and put it through this amp here. So there's our C. Well, there's a trap. You see, obviously you have to turn the tuner off before you can actually send the signal out through the guitar to the amp. So I've just had to turn the tuner off. And now that I've done that, now we've got it coming through there. So I've got everything set in the 0 position, in the mid position. So bass, middle, and treble. Everything's set at 0, so that's flat. And I've got it pretty much set flat on this amp as well. This is the Roland BA330, which is it's a multi-purpose amp which you can use for guitar, piano, bass, guitar as well, because it's a 4-speaker stereo amp, which is really cool. And so you can use it as a duo, for instance, if you've got a keyboard player and a guitar player, both with microphones, you can plug them all in the back of this. So it serves quite a few different purposes. So at the moment I've just got the guitar in, obviously, and I've just got it into a channel there. About the volume is about 2/3 up on that, and I'm about halfway up on the volume on the guitar here. So everything in the mid position. I'll do that same chord progression again. Yeah, I really like the sound of those bass strings coming through the amp there. It's got a real rich bassy sound, and that's just with halfway up on here. So if I go 2/3 up on the bass, treble, and mid, so all of those are actually 3/4. So I got 3/4 up on all of those now. Yeah, it's a good sound. Yeah, I think that's sounding pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see what other people have to say about that. It's obviously just a real, just a sort of a basic guitar, really. So I don't know if there's going to be much difference between this and a top-of-the-range guitar in terms of the overall sound, but to my ears, this sounds perfectly fine. I think the Ashton guitars are actually really good. For what you pay for them, I think the sound and the ease, the playability of them are just real simple. It just not hard on the fingers. It's easy to get around the strings here. I think what's the nut width on this? I think it's 430 millimeters, if that's correct, which I guess is pretty standard, I'm assuming, for a guitar. So turn that volume down so you can just hear the strings again. Obviously a big difference coming through the amp there. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So if anyone's got any comments or any knowledge they can add, that would be great, because I'm still learning. And the piano is my main instrument, but just nice to be able to pick up the guitar every now and again and strum a few chords. And obviously it's a lot more portable. I've always been jealous of guitar players. So easy to transport a guitar and as opposed to a keyboard. And as you can see, the strap went on there really easy, which is really nice. So the strap's just on the 2 screws there, and having the cable there just coming out just to one side, which is great also, because then I can just put the guitar down like that and it's not going to push down on the cable. So that's good. Yep, so I'm really happy with that, and perhaps I'll do a couple of videos once I've got a bit better at this. But in the meantime, I'll probably just work on a couple of keyboard videos, and we'll see you for the next one of those. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.